So as you can see, this old workshop has literally just become a bit of a dumping ground for all sorts of stuff. One of the major issues with this old workshop is the underside of the roof in the winter just gets full of condensation, and then when it defrosts it drips, so everything in here just gets wet, damp, nasty. Also this existing wall, of course, wasn't built with any damp proof course, so you get moisture through there, so you can't leave really anything valuable in this workshop or anything that's going to sort of get damp and nasty. That is the reason the whole thing's going to come down. Quick tour of the junk we've got in here. Got loads of old files there, not sure what's in those boxes. This is my old tool cupboard with a few tools left in it. Obviously some have gone into cobbled garage now. Some leftover vehicle parts, an old Piaggio Vespa Chow, and if you remember I stole the handlebars for Odd Bod off that. These are all my building materials, if you like. Cement tools, there's my cement mixer, a couple of bikes which need a good clean and dusting off, car cover, leftover building materials, old Belfast sink there. Down the bottom there we've got electrical stuff from when I've done some rewiring, shelving brackets, some tiling stuff there. This shelf has got camping things on. Got a shelf of odd light fittings. Down here, the bottom shelf, we've got stuff with plumbing, bit of scrap lead there. Here we got some screws, musical stuff. There's an old Fender bass amp, boxes of cables, power amp down the bottom, various other building materials left over. Copper pipe there, that. More leftover building materials. The plan to start is everything on these two walls needs to go, and I'm going to set up a couple more shelves on this left hand side. We're going to get rid of a lot of stuff obviously, and so the only shelving is going to be along this wall, which is going to stay. So everything on this side of the workshop needs to go. I'm going to leave this side of the workshop intact for now. The plan being the rest of this flooring is going to be dug up, so I need to clear all this out of the way. That was a lot of work, but this side is pretty much clear. All that wall, which is the wall I need to reinforce, is pretty much clear now. Still a lot of stuff on this side, but I have been to the metal recycling place twice and to the tip twice, so it's looking a lot better. A few things I'm going to sell just over there as well, put those on Facebook Marketplace. But the next job is to start digging up this floor. The day of the floor cutting has come, and I've hired this beast from local hire place, and of course much heavier than I thought it was going to be. They actually used a forklift to get it in back of my van, so I'm thinking the engine crane is going to help me get it out on my own. That is the first task of the day. I have dragged the beast into the old workshop, and I just need to fit this big diamond blade and try and remember what they told me to do to start this thing. Really can't remember. That's the emergency off there. Oh, there's the choke, and you just start it there, And I think this wheel just lets the front end down so the disc goes into the ground. Oh, there's also a water tank as well, and that just stops a lot of the dust. So I need to fill this water tank. And then this is the water on and off. I'm hoping that's everything they taught me. To start with, let's try and fit this disc. Let's see if the beast will start and do a little test cut then. Choke is on. First test cut done, but it is quite noisy and it's gonna cover me in muck, but not much dust, which I quite like. So the water trick definitely works, but I am going to get some ear defenders because I don't want to be deaf at the end of the day. And the plan is to just start this side. I'm just going to run cuts up and down. Not sure how many, 4 or 5 maybe. There's my first line cut. And it does start kicking up some dust after a while. I have just returned the floor cutter back to the hire company. It's been quite a day, but quite enjoyed it actually. If you can see that, that's what we've achieved. Look a bit closer. Not sure if you can see that well, but I've basically cut the floor into chunks, into squares, probably 2 foot, yeah, into about 2 foot squares over the whole floor. The 450mm cutter, and I reckon that's gone in at 4 inches, 100mm in most places. Yeah, pretty good. I definitely went through the concrete slab. You can see this is kind of dirt or brick or something, the base the concrete's laid on, so it's definitely gone all the way through the concrete. And the reason I've used this floor cutter just to cut it up into chunks is because I was really worried about disturbing this retaining wall. Next door's garden comes up to about there. You can already see a bit of a crack there, and the wall is really bowed. And I was just worried if I was going to use a concrete breaker, just that vibration might bring that wall down. So it is cut into chunks. So I'm going to start by taking up some of this existing concrete slab, and then I'm going to dig a couple of test holes just to see what we're dealing with both this wall to the neighbour's garden and this boundary wall here. We have actually got to reinforce this all the way along, put a proper retaining wall in here. I do have structural drawings, so I'm not making this up as I go along, but that'll be the first initial job, just to take this up, and hopefully these bits I've cut into chunks are going to lift up nice and easily. So it's looking like these are moving. Yep, he's definitely going to lift out with a bigger tool. Once I've got one out, they're going to like come out nice and easy, but I'm just getting this first one. And there we go. And that is exactly what I was hoping to achieve. These are just going to come out in nice chunks. Yeah, just cutting that floor up into sections, just going to make my life way easier. I'm really pleased with how that worked out. Those chunks of concrete just about movable, so cut them into the right sizes, and they have all ended up this end of the garage. Quite a pile. I will have to order a skip because it's going to build up quite quickly there. This is interesting, this old garden wall here. It's got those fancy Bluetooth foundations. This garden is on a bit of a hill, and I'm guessing they've dug this out to build the workshop originally. But as you can see, yeah, there's nothing under that at all. I was going to dig a pit there to see how far down the wall went, but obviously you can tell. So I think I'm going to concentrate on this wall here, dig a hole roughly there. I want to keep it fairly close to this wall. I'm worried if I dig it in the middle there, the wall's bowing mainly there. If I keep it to here, this wall's acting a bit like a buttress. And just find out how far down this retaining wall goes. Okay, dug my first little trial hole. You can see the bottom of the stone wall there. Doesn't go far below the level of the floor. I do need to dig down deeper than that, to be honest. I think there is roughly the finished floor level, so I need to go at least kind of 150 mil down. So I'll probably extend this back here so I can dig out easy. Obviously the further down you go, the more difficult it is to dig, especially with a small hole like that. I need to underpin this wall basically. The way you do that is you dig out a section, like a metre wide section, underpin it, move along, do another section, underpin it, etc. Now, just looking outside, this retaining wall comes to, I've made a little mark there, comes to there. Just put this board to indicate. So I think I'm gonna measure that up, divide it into metre sections, and just spray paint on the wall there so I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to dig out alternate ones, underpin, etc. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5.5 really bays there. So I'm going to come a bit wider on this one, and I still need to go deeper. So yeah, just going to carry on digging this one down for now. That's about as far as I'm going to get on this video. I have got this former made up. It's a metre wide, 600 mil, and that's going to go in there. Fits in there quite nicely, but I do want to dig this out a bit further in to go right underneath the wall there. I'm a bit worried about doing that until I get some sand and cement delivered, because as soon as I've dug that out, I want to just backfill that with the sand and cement, and that'll be the first underpinning section done. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been of interest to some people, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, cheers.